The mailman handed Lonnie Ali an envelope 6 months after Muhammad had died. The return address made her hands shake. Indiana State Prison. Inside was a letter that began, "Dear Champ, you probably don't remember me, but for 15 years you saved my life every month. We never met. I never asked for anything. I just need you to know what those letters meant." What Lonnie discovered in that letter would reveal a side of Muhammad Ali the world never knew, a friendship that existed entirely on paper, between a champion and a man the world had forgotten. It started with a letter Ali almost threw away. Los Angeles, March 1985. Muhammad Ali's assistant Patricia was sorting through the Daily Mail, hundreds of letters from fans, requests for autographs, invitations to events. Then she found one that was different. The envelope was thin, cheap prison stationery. The handwriting was careful, practiced, like someone who'd had a lot of time to perfect their penmanship. Return address, James Richardson, of 847392, Indiana State Prison, Michigan City, IN. Patricia almost tossed it in the fan mail pile. They got letters from prison sometimes, usually asking for money or autographs to sell, but something made her open it. The letter was 3 pages, handwritten, no spelling errors, thoughtful. Ali. My name is James Richardson. I'm 32 years old and I'm serving 25 years to life for armed robbery. I'm not writing to ask for anything. I'm not asking for money or autographs or help with my case. I'm writing because last Tuesday, I watched your fight against Larry Holmes on the prison TV. Everyone said you were finished. Too old, too sick. You lost, but something about watching you refuse to quit made me think differently about my own life. I've been in here 8 years. I have at least 17 more to go. Most days I want to give up. Most days I think about what I've thrown away, my daughter who doesn't know me, my mother who stopped visiting, the life I'll never get back. But watching you take those punches and still stand up made me realize something. Maybe courage isn't winning. Maybe it's just refusing to stay down. I know you get thousands of letters. I don't expect you to write back. I just wanted you to know that even in here, even in the worst place, your example matters. Respectfully, James Richardson. Patricia read it twice. Then she walked into Ali's office. "Boss, you need to see this." Ali was working with his Parkinson's medication, his hands trembling slightly. He was 43 years old and the disease was getting worse. He read the letter slowly. When he finished, he was quiet for a long time. "Get me paper and a pen. You want to dictate? I can type? No. I'm writing this myself." It took Ali 20 minutes to write 3 paragraphs. His handwriting shook. Some words were hard to read, but he wrote, "Dear James, you said you don't expect me to write back, but how could I not? You're wrong about one thing. Courage isn't refusing to stay down. Courage is what you're doing right now. 17 more years, and you're looking for reasons to keep going. That's harder than any fight I ever had. I'm going to write you again next month, and the month after that. You're not alone, brother. Your friend Muhammad Ali." Patricia mailed it the next day. Neither of them expected what would happen next. What started as one letter became something neither of them expected. April 1985. James Richardson was in his cell when the guard threw an envelope through the bars. Richardson, mail. James looked at the return address and his heart stopped. Muhammad Ali's office, Los Angeles. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside was Ali's handwritten letter. James read it 7 times that first day. Then he carefully folded it and put it in a shoebox under his bunk, a box that would eventually hold something extraordinary. He wrote back immediately. "Dear Champ, I can't believe you wrote back. I've read your letter so many times I have it memorized. You said I'm not alone. That means more than you know. Let me tell you about this place. Indiana State is one of the toughest prisons in the country. We're locked down 23 hours a day. The violence is constant. The guards are scared of us, so they're cruel. Most guys in here lose their minds. I almost did, until your letter. I hung it on my wall. Other guys asked to read it. Now there are 5 of us who talk about your fights, your words, your example. You started something in here without knowing it. Can I ask you something? How do you keep going when your own body betrays you? I read about your Parkinson's. How do you stay hopeful? Your friend James." Ali wrote back in May, then June, then July. Every month, like clockwork, James received a letter. Sometimes typed by Patricia, because Ali's hands were too shaky. Sometimes handwritten in barely legible script, because Ali insisted. The letters weren't long. Usually just a page or 2, but they were consistent. And slowly, something remarkable happened. James started changing. He enrolled in prison education courses, got his GED, started teaching other inmates to read. He wrote to his daughter, the first contact in 9 years. She didn't write back, but he kept trying. He stopped getting into fights, started meditating, read every book about Ali he could find in the prison library. Every month, he wrote to Ali, and every month Ali wrote back. "Dear James, you asked how I stay hopeful with Parkinson's. Here's the truth, I don't always. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm scared. Some days I can barely speak and I want to scream. But then I think about you. 17 years left and you're teaching guys to read. You're reaching out to your daughter. You're choosing to be better in the worst place imaginable. If you can do that, I can take my medication and keep fighting. We're helping each other, brother. Muhammad. But there was one thing James wanted that Ali couldn't give him. December 1990. 5 years of letters. James Richardson had been moved to a medium security facility. Good behavior. Model prisoner. He sat down to write his monthly letter to Ali. Dear champ, 5 years, 60 letters from you. I've saved every one. The guys in here can't believe it. Muhammad Ali writes to me every month. Some don't believe it's really you until I show them the letters. I want to ask you something, but I'm afraid to. I'm afraid if I ask you'll stop writing. But I'm going to ask anyway. Could I meet you? Just once? I know you're busy. I know I'm nobody. But I've imagined what it would be like to shake your hand, to thank you in person, to tell you that you saved my life. I understand if it's not possible. Either way, I'm grateful for what you've already given me. Your friend James. Ali read the letter in January 1991. His Parkinson's was significantly worse now. Travel was difficult. Speaking was harder. He dictated his response to Patricia. Dear James, your letter made me think hard. You want to meet. I want that too. But here's what I've learned. Some things are more powerful when they stay invisible. Our friendship exists in words, in the space between us, in the act of sitting down each month and writing to someone the world has forgotten. If we meet, we become real people with all our flaws and disappointments. But as long as we're pen pals, you can imagine me as the champion who never quits, and I can imagine you as the man who's transforming his life one day at a time. Maybe that's more valuable than a handshake. I'm not saying no forever. I'm saying not yet. Let's keep this going. Let's see where it leads. Is that okay? Your friend Muhammad. James received the letter in February. He sat on his bunk and cried. Part of him was disappointed, but another part understood. Ali was right. Their friendship was pure because it existed only in words. No cameras, no publicity, no proof except the letters themselves. So James wrote back, I understand, champ. Let's keep going. And they did. Month after month, year after year. For 15 years, the letters continued. Then everything changed. June 2000. James Richardson walked out of Indiana State Prison after serving 15 years. Good behavior. Early release. He was 47 years old. He had his GED, 2 years of college courses completed by correspondence, and a shoebox containing 180 letters from Muhammad Ali. His daughter, now 23, was waiting at the gate. They'd been writing for 5 years. She gave him a chance. James got a job at a warehouse, lived in a halfway house, attended parole meetings, started rebuilding his life, and every month he still wrote to Ali. But something changed. The letters from Ali became less frequent. Sometimes 2 months would pass, then 3. James understood. Ali's Parkinson's was severe now. He'd lit the Olympic torch in 1996 with trembling hands, an act of courage watched by billions. Writing was probably impossible now, so James kept writing anyway, not expecting responses, just continuing the conversation. Dear champ, I haven't heard from you in 4 months. I'm not upset. I understand you're fighting battles I can't imagine. I just want you to know, I got my associate's degree. I'm working full-time. My daughter and I are rebuilding. I'm speaking at a prison reform program next month. Everything good in my life traces back to March 1985 when you wrote back to a letter from a prisoner you'd never met. Whether you can write back or not, I'm still your friend. James. Ali never responded to that letter, or the next one, or the 50 letters James wrote between 2000 and 2016. But James kept writing, because that's what friends do. Even when the other person can't write back, you keep showing up. Then on June 3, 2016, James's phone rang. James Richardson was at work when he got the news. Muhammad Ali had died. Age 74. Complications from Parkinson's. James sat in his car during lunch break and cried. Not because they'd never met, but because his friend was gone. That night he wrote one final letter. Dear champ, I heard the news today. I'm heartbroken. For 31 years you were my friend. For 15 of those years you wrote back. For the last 16 I wrote to you even though I knew you couldn't respond. I'm writing this final letter not to send it, but to say what I need to say. Thank you for seeing me when the world looked away. Thank you for treating a prisoner like a human being. Thank you for showing me that courage isn't about winning, it's about showing up even when you're losing. I never got to shake your hand, but I felt it in every letter. Rest in peace, champ. You were the greatest friend I ever had. James. James sealed the letter but didn't send it. Ali was gone. There was no address, so he put it in the shoebox with the other 180 letters and went to Ali's memorial service in Louisville. He sat in the back. Nobody knew who he was. He watched as presidents and celebrities eulogized the champion, and he thought, I knew a different Ali. The one who wrote to a forgotten man every month for 15 years. The one nobody's talking about.
Then something unexpected happened. 6 months later, the letter that changed everything. Lonnie Ali was going through Muhammad's personal effects, a task she'd been putting off for months. In his home office, she found filing cabinets full of correspondence, fan letters, business letters, personal notes. Then she found a specific folder labeled simply, James. Inside were 180 letters, handwritten, prison stationery, dated from March 1985 to June 2016. Lonnie read them chronologically, the transformation of a life in real time, the consistency of friendship across 31 years. She noticed something. Ali had kept every single letter, filed carefully, preserved. Then she found Ali's notes. Handwritten, shaky, probably from his final years. Important. Tell James thank you. Remind him he helped me as much as I helped him. These letters kept me human. They reminded me why I fight. Lonnie sat with this for a week. Then she hired an investigator. Find James Richardson. Last known address, Indiana. I need to meet him. 2 weeks later, the investigator called back. Found him. Lives in Indianapolis. Works for a nonprofit helping ex-prisoners re-enter society. Clean record since release. Want his number? Lonnie did something better. She wrote a letter. Dear James, you don't know me. My name is Lonnie Ali. I was Muhammad's wife. I found your letters, all 180 of them. Muhammad kept every one. I also found notes he left about you. He wanted me to tell you something. You helped him as much as he helped you. In his final years when speaking was hard and the disease was stealing him away, your letters reminded him why he kept fighting. You were never forgotten, James. You were treasured. I have something Muhammad wanted you to have. Can we meet? Lonnie Ali. James received the letter in January 2017. His hands shook as he read it. 2 weeks later, he drove to Louisville. What Lonnie gave James that day. Lonnie Ali's home, Louisville, Kentucky. January 2017. James Richardson sat in the living room where Muhammad Ali had lived. Photos on the walls, trophies, memories of a champion. Lonnie brought out 2 boxes. The first box, she said, contains Muhammad's copies of your letters. He kept every one. He'd reread them when he was having bad days. James opened the box, his letters, spanning 31 years, preserved. He read my letters, every month. Even after he couldn't write back, Patricia would read them to him. You were a constant in his life. Lonnie opened the second box. Inside were 180 letters from Ali to James, the ones James had saved in his shoebox. You kept his letters, Lonnie said, every one. James, do you understand what you have here? A complete correspondence, 31 years, both sides, a friendship documented in real time. This is history. James looked at the letters. I never thought of it that way. It was just friendship. That's exactly why it matters. Lonnie handed James an envelope. This is the last thing. Muhammad wrote it in 2014, when he could still manage a pen. He gave it to me with instructions. If something happens to me, make sure James gets this. James opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a single page. Ali's handwriting, nearly illegible, but unmistakably his. Dear James, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry we never met in person. I wanted to, but I also wanted our friendship to stay pure. No cameras, no publicity, just 2 men writing letters. You asked me once how I stayed hopeful with Parkinson's. The answer is you. Knowing that somewhere in Indiana, a man was writing to me every month, telling me about his life, his struggles, his victories. That kept me human. The world knew me as a champion. You knew me as a friend. That's what I needed. Thank you for 15 years of letters. Thank you for 16 more years of faith. Thank you for never giving up on me even when I couldn't write back. You saved my life as much as I saved yours. Your friend forever, Muhammad Ali. James read the letter 3 times. Then he broke down crying. Lonnie put her hand on his shoulder. He loved you, James, in his own way. I loved him too, even though we never met. That's the most beautiful part. You loved each other without ever needing proof. Today, the James Richardson-Muhammad Ali correspondence is housed at the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville. All 360 letters, both sides of a 31-year friendship. It's called The Invisible Friendship, Letters Between a Champion and a Forgotten Man. James Richardson, now 71, volunteers at the center. He gives talks about second chances, the power of words and friendships that transcend circumstances. His daughter works there too. She helps other families reconnect with incarcerated loved ones. My father's friendship with Ali taught me something, she says. It's not about grand gestures. It's about showing up, month after month, year after year, even when there's no response. James keeps a framed letter on his desk. The first one Ali sent, March 1985. You're not alone, brother. That's what saved me, James says. Not knowing a celebrity cared. Knowing a human being did. And that's what I try to pass on now. The exhibition includes a listening station where visitors can hear actors read excerpts from the letters. There's Ali in 1985. Courage isn't refusing to stay down. Courage is looking for reasons to keep going. There's James in 1990. You saved my life and you don't even know it. There's Ali in 1996. Some friendships are more powerful when they stay invisible. And there's the final letter, the one Ali wrote in 2014. You saved my life as much as I saved yours. Visitors leave the exhibition in tears, because they understand. The greatest fight Ali ever fought wasn't in a ring. It was sitting down every month, hands trembling from Parkinson's, writing to a man the world had forgotten, reminding him, you're not alone, brother. Muhammad Ali once said, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. For 15 years, Ali paid that rent with letters. No cameras, no publicity, no proof except words on paper. James Richardson was serving 25 to life when those letters started arriving. Today he's free, helping other ex-prisoners rebuild their lives. They never met, never shook hands, never had a photograph taken together. But they had something more valuable, a friendship that existed purely because both men chose to show up, month after month, year after year. Even when one couldn't write back anymore, the other kept writing, because that's what friendship means. Sometimes the most powerful relationships are the invisible ones, the ones nobody sees, the ones that exist only in the space between two people who refuse to give up on each other. If this story moved you, think about the people in your life who feel invisible, the ones behind bars, the ones in hospitals, the ones the world forgot. Maybe they need a letter. Maybe they need to know, you're not alone, brother. Subscribe for more untold Muhammad Ali stories. The fights that happened in letters, not rings. Comment below. Have you ever had a pen pal who changed your life? And remember, the greatest victories happen when nobody's watching.